Hello, Physio practice owners. If you want to know how to 3.5x your SEO traffic for your physio practice in as little as 20 months, this is the episode for you. Hello and welcome to today's episode. By the way, Happy New Year, Happy January 2025. So this month we are all about showcasing some success stories of our clients. And today we're going to be talking about an SEO success story. It's about an established Sydney practice and how they managed to 3.5x their SEO traffic in as little as 20 months. Right? Let's get into it. So firstly, I want to talk about why SEO really matters. Now, when it comes to getting new patients, SEO and Google in general, but especially SEO, is the most trusted source for getting new patients. Why? Let's talk about it. Let's really think about it. So when it comes to the search results in Google, the organic part of your Google search results, right? So basically the SEO results, it's the ones that Google are recommending organically that you're not paying for. Therefore, they come with a lot more trust. Because that trust factor tends to get a lot more patients coming into the practice, because there's a lot more trust. So this is why SEO really matters, right? And not only that, because there's a lot of trust, typically the traffic from that will be higher as well. And what you can do when you get SEO really right is you can use that traffic that you get from SEO and you can retarget other channels, right? In Google ads, YouTube ads, Google display ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, you name it, we can retarget it everywhere else as well. So it's a really great way to get high trusted, high follow through new patients, as well as allowing you to use that traffic to retarget in other areas as well. So you become more visible, right, to those patients that have come through. You have a better chance of getting them back or into your clinic as patients. All right. That's why SEO really matters. Now, if you're watching this in video, I want to share with you, right, I'm just going to talk you through this pyramid of the market that exists around your practice. Right. Now, wherever you are, you'll have a catchment of where generally your patients will come from. All right. That catchment has all the patients that you can potentially serve. All right. So this pyramid shows you all the people, not just the people that are looking to come to your physio practice or the people that have been to your practice, the people that haven't even thought about it, don't even want to know about it, right? All those people, right, belong in this pyramid somewhere, basically the entire market. But it's important to understand who they are and what their intentions are and how each particular category fit into your marketing strategy. And I'll talk about which part of this is most important for SEO, right? Now, if you really think about it, SEO in Google, people are typing in, which means they're looking for an answer generally, right? They're looking for an answer. So if they're looking for an answer, obviously looking for a solution as well, right? So you can see in this little pyramid, the top 3% are buying right now, right? So for example, physio near me, that is a buy keyword, though that belongs in the top 3%, all right? Now underneath that, you can see 6 to 7% are open to it. They're not really looking to buy right now, but they're open to it. For example, how to relieve plantar fasciitis. They're open to it. They might not be looking for physios right now, but they're open to it. They're looking to relieve their plantar fasciitis in this instance, all right? And the 30% below that, they're not thinking about it. So they have plantar fasciitis, but they haven't really thought about what to do, but they're still a relevant person. But yeah, there's the rest of the pyramid, right? But the portion that is really, really important, the portion that SEO applies to in this pyramid is the buying now, so the physio near me, all right? And the 6 to 7% open to it. How to relieve plantar fasciitis pain, for example, all right? So the 10% of the market, the entire market that are looking and putting those queries in. That's what Google is all about. But it's the tip of the pyramid. So in other words, the people in your whole catchment that are most likely to come and actually come into your practice as a patient because they're looking for a solution, or at least they're open to a solution. All right, that's why it's relevant. So basically, the hottest or the one that like I said, the most probable to come into your practice. So this is why SEO is really, really important. Now let's talk about this Sydney practice and where they started. Now you can see they started all the way back in Jan 12. When they came to January of 2012, they've been around for a while. And when they came to us around April 2023, right? So it's about 20 months ago now. Now you can see by the graph here, all right, you can see what I've highlighted here. When they started, this is a graph of traffic, organic traffic into the website, okay? At this point, they were probably around the 200 mark, just over 200 traffic, right? That's what they were getting, right? And you can see by the end of it, they were hitting the 800, right? So basically almost quadruple, but 3.5x is what they did, right? If you have a look at the actual graph, you can see it's fairly flat from about January of 2018, not flat, but it has a bit of growth, but you can see a couple of periods of serious decline. One happened in July 2022 and one before they came to us in April 2023. It's like a cliff face decline. What I'll share with you exactly why this happened, and this might be relevant for your practice and you need to have a look at if this is happening with your practice. And obviously I'm going to share with you what we did to alleviate all of that and get them to a place where they are at all-time high. They have 3.5x their SEO traffic from what we've done. So here are some of the challenges, right? So the first thing was their website was pretty poorly built and not aligned with the right keywords, right? You got to make sure to have the patients you really want, because at the end of the day, SEO is all about getting the patients. You need to have a website that is aligned to do that, but also as importantly, just to make sure that the content within the website is relevant, including the keywords, right? So this practice had a older website. It was poorly built, at least it was old, and it wasn't fast. The keywords that it was ranking for was all over the place, not relevant at all. For example, it could be ranking for things completely outside of physiotherapy, which you don't really want, right? You want to make sure whatever keywords that you're ranking on Google are relevant to what you're doing. That way it stays relevant to your patients and it signals to Google what you're really all about. So the copy that you use in the website, along with all the other technical bits in SEO, becomes very important, all right? So you've got to build the website with the content that's relevant to your audience or your patients, okay? And the actual, you can see the website traffic it's unstable and declining, like I showed you with that graph, right? It was a bit unstable, especially, in the 2 years prior. It was up and down. There was two big cliff faces down, right? And really, like I mentioned, it's because they had a very, very slow website, and Google does not like that because they are looking at the experience that your website is serving up to the people who come and visit it. And if it's not good enough, right, with a poor experience, Google will not rank you higher because they don't want to show websites that are not performing well and not giving a good experience to your patients. And as a result, this website was going down in the rankings and therefore the traffic as well. All right. And like I talked about, the keyword and the content, all the little technical bits, what we call on-page SEO, that wasn't really there either. For example, the copy wasn't written specifically for physio-related terms for the patients in the area. The images didn't have the right meta tags and alt tags that was in line with the services and the language that the actual local people were using on Google. All right. And their Google My Business profile had very inconsistent reviews and very outdated information. So there's a lot of things here that really confuse the people or the patients that is looking for this practice and the website. and it's confusing Google as well. So everyone's confused. So it creates confusion everywhere, all the important parts, to the point where it becomes, it suffered through those 2 years, because that's where I had the serious decline twice in 2 years. All right. So here are the exact things that we did to turn that around. All right. Firstly, we looked at the keywords. We looked at the easy to win keywords, right, that are relevant. Easy to win keywords that are actually relevant. Now, what I mean by this is physio near me, for example, is a very competitive and difficult keyword to work on. The reason being, everybody wants to rank for it. And it's the most powerful keyword. So it can become one of the hardest keywords to rank for. But what you want to rank for are keywords that are called low-hanging fruit, keywords that are still important and relevant, but there's not as much competition in them. So in other words, you're picking the easy things to win first that are relevant, easy keywords to win first. So it starts with that. You got to identify what are the keywords. The second is content. You got to create high value content specific for your area and the service. All right. Let's just say Physio South Melbourne. All right. Or knee pain South Melbourne. You want to make sure that your content is around those keywords that you've identified in the first step, that are easier, that are relevant, easier to win, and there's less competition around, right? You got to create content around that for your area and the service, right? And you got to prioritize, the main patient concern and questions. So the article or the content really needs to be, once again, remember, you're trying to do well in SEO. So you need to have good page relevance, because Google is watching what people are doing on the website. If a page isn't useful, they're going to bounce off. All right. They're going to leave, and Google will see that. That is a strong indicator that the page is not doing well. So what you need to do is, when you write the article, you need to make sure it's something that patients are actually looking for. All right. So this is how you got to write the content around it. All right. So articles around it, really asking. And you would know this, right? In your practice, you would know when somebody comes in for knee pain or whatever pain, you'll have a few common questions and what they're really looking for. You need to be as specific as that. Make it really useful. That's an important thing. Okay. So next thing is we build them a whole new website. We had a look at those keywords like we talked about. Then we build them a whole new website, right? And remember, I talked about one of the things that they were missing in this website is it was very slow, it was outdated, it was irrelevant, and the user experience was pretty poor. So when we built the website, it was built to pretty high standards in terms of it was loading very, very fast on page speed insights, right? Which is a Google tool. Go there, put your website in, see how it's performing. It'll tell you all the things that are essentially wrong or not working well in your practice or in your website and what you need to do about it. But like I mentioned, this particular practice, the user experience, because it wasn't very relevant, the website wasn't relevant, people were bouncing off. That was leading to a lot of people declining rankings, and the rankings going down, and obviously the traffic going down as well. All right. So the things that we improved, well, we built a brand new website that was performing really well in terms of loading speeds. All right. The user experience was high and relevant because we took the time to have a look at the keywords that are relevant for that area for each specific service, and we created the content around that. So it gave the right useful information much faster. That's all it is. All right. Those are the steps. Now, the next thing is the GMB profile, your Google My Business profile. We made sure, now the rule is you need to update your Google My Business profile at least every week, right? With the targeted keywords. For example, if somebody is going knee pain in South Melbourne, you need to have an update around that for Google My Business profile as well, because that'll signal to Google that you are relevant for knee pain in South Melbourne. Okay. You need to have regular update for the keywords that you're targeting. Remember the easy to win keywords first and the harder ones. It needs to be at least a week, every week. We recommend every day is what's really required. Okay. And Google reviews is the other thing that's really, really important, right? Obviously, one of the key things when it comes to local SEO, right, on the map pack side of things is you're trying to appear as high as you can in that list. And one of the key ways to do that is get regular Google reviews, all right, and replying to them. So this is our standard recommended number of Google reviews per month is 10 per practice. You need to be getting 10 positive reviews per practice per month. That's the standard. All right. There's lots of ways you can do that. There's things like Bird Eye. You can put QR codes for your Google review. You can get your receptionist to ask for the Google reviews when a patient's paying. You can have the QR codes on the walls. So whenever they're getting changed, I guess at the end of the appointment, the therapist can ask if you can kind of leave us a review. They can scan the code that's in the treatment room while they're getting changed, and they can do a review there. Keep it at the reception, at the waiting area. Things like that, all the ways you can think of to try and get as many, but minimum 10 Google reviews per month. All right. So the key is, remember, focus on, especially when it comes to Google My Business Profile and the updates, focus on the easy to win keywords first to build the momentum, then work on the harder ones as you're getting more momentum. Okay. So the tools that you can use. Now, the free one is Google Search Console and Google Analytics. All right. Google Analytics will show you how much traffic is coming in, when are they coming in, what time of the day, where are they coming from, how are they flowing through, are they coming, what are their typical journey? Is a homepage, about us, contact us, what are they doing and where they're exiting? All right. All these things can give you an idea as to how your SEO is working, what your bounce rate is, for example, as well, right? How many people are leaving when they're coming, or what's the percentage, what's the general engagement rate, right? How much time do they spend on your website whenever they come onto it? All right. Google Analytics is a big one. Google Search Console is another free tool, right? It shows in terms of how many impressions you've had. So how many people would appear, for example, physio near me, how many times your practice would appear when somebody types in physio near me or any other keyword. He'll show you all the keywords that you're ranking for. He'll go into the impressions, the clicks, the click-through rate, and the rankings as well for each of those keywords. Now, when it comes to finding easy to win keywords, the tools that are really good for it is Ahrefs and SEMrush. They're gold standard tools. They're really good to use to find out what are the easy keywords to rank for, to work on, to get a bit more momentum. Another tool for the performance, the speed of the website is what we call, as we talked about before, is page speed insights, where you really need to be on top of this one, right? So that the standard benchmark is when you type in your website onto page speed insights, you need to have a minimum of 90% performance on desktop, minimum 60% performance on mobile. Now, why only 60 on mobile? The reason why we think 60 is adequate is if you have a look at the biggest companies in the world, Apple, Google, the biggest companies in the world, even them, their mobile, what we find is they're on the 60-65% mark, right? Which tells us that if they are doing at that level, and they're obviously quite big, that is a reasonable standard for any physio practice to achieve as well. Now, it's 60 on mobile because actually it's a lot harder to perform much higher on mobile on desktop. So, but the minimum benchmark is 60% performance on mobile and 90% minimum on desktop. Okay. So we keep using these tools very regularly, at least a month, all right? No more than a quarter at least, all right? But every single month to see where you're going, how you are doing, what the strategy could be for the next month. Okay. So these are the things that we did for this particular practice, right? So what have been the results? Well, the results have been, you can see it was 350% increase in inquiries within 1 year and 8 months. All right, 300% more local keyword rankings on page 1 of Google. All right, so that's triple the amount of keywords on page 1 of Google. 350% boost in website traffic from optimized content. All right, so all the things that we talked about. So here's a bit of a graphical representation. You can see the number of keywords. The pink ones are in positions 4 to 10. Top 3 are the yellow one. You can see it's always been going up, 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 up. All right, that's what's happening. So doing these things in a systematic way, this is how you can get the most trusted traffic through. And remember, you can retarget to other channels as well. Right, so Google My Business. A few things into getting this right as well is we talked about the Google updates, right? We recommend every single day. We talked about the reviews, positive and the negative, right? 10 minimum positive reviews per month per practice. And the negative ones, or the not so positive ones, so the 3, 2, and 1 star ones, you've got to handle them in a 5-star way. All right, you do that, you show people, because anyone who's interested will have a look at the reviews and see a 1-star review by somebody. But if you responded to that review in a 5-star way, that showcases the kind of people and a practice that you really are. That will help. But what we'll find is that even if you get a review that is not so great, if you connect with that person really and find out what's going on, they typically will remove the review anyway. And secondly, there are companies out there called Removify. If you have a fraudulent Google review put into your website, Removify can help you removing that as well. There's lots of other companies like that. And use photos and updates to really show activity and engage with the patients as well. And attach these images and these visual assets to the keywords that we talked about. All right, the low-hanging fruit. Now, here's one of the key things that physio practices get wrong. Verify your Google My Business profile and make sure the business category is correct. There are so many physio practices out there that they don't have physiotherapy or physical therapy in Google as the category that they've chosen. So make sure you go to your Google My Business profile and have a look at what the business category is. Make sure your Google My Business profile is verified. All right. And your clinic hours, all those things need to be really, really consistent. It just shows to Google and the people that you're taking care of the actual information. Therefore, you have a high chance of ranking well in there as well. Okay. Like we talked about, you've got a springboard from easy wins. All right. You've got a springboard from easy wins. So this is where, like we talked about, you can tackle the harder keywords, but start with the easier keywords first. Then you can use this traffic to leverage on Facebook and things like that. I really hope that gives you a good idea as to what to put into your practice in terms of SEO, all the little things. You do consistently over a long period of time, you're going to be able to get some great results in the most trusted source of traffic for your practice, right? If you find that useful, head on to our, there's heaps of articles and heaps of videos, things to download on our website as well, physiomarketing.co. Head down there and I hope this was useful. Until next time, take care.